Right now. Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody. It is me, Thank Me Later, here on actually not too bad, December 26th. Welcome. How's the audio? I was playing with my setup again. As you can see, my green screen and right about there. I don't know why my lens, I probably need to like zoom in. Way audio is not always something. Let's try for it. What is your Test, test. All right. Happy Boxing Day. All right. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? I got a new little mic here. There, that's better. Galactus says it's better. Now the audio is great. There we go. Thank you, El Gato, for the little microphone here. Very easy. Loyal Doyle just subscribed. Oh my goodness. Did we finally make it? Are we finally on that level? I don't know if that was a gifted sub or Doyle is actually watching and subbed. Dance of 1,000 Xlanders to you, my friend. Or I still have to figure out my Twitch stuff. Not get. Oh, there he is. Not gifted. Okay, I made that mistake the other day, and I thought people were subscribing, and it was gifted. Doyle, welcome. Well, today, man, I will fix this issue. My green screen situation. So today Today is all about re-energizing the movement. So I've been reflecting a lot lately on kind of what are we trying to do here. Um, I only did it to let everyone know I'm officially in second place. Oh, for your wow. How far behind are you? Sorry, I will get back on track. J- Doyle, you know I'm a squirrel chaser. So those of you who don't know, Loyal Doyle, aka Broadcaster of the Year, which is actually very relevant. As you can see here, I'm wearing my lighted upland T-shirt from Vegas. So it's kind of poetic that Doyle is here today, joining live, because I've been reflecting a lot this holiday season on, you know, where why are we doing this, right? So obviously we want to have fun. Obviously, we want to make a really cool game, but I've been reflecting a lot more on like what the our value purpose is, and it's kind of insane when you think about we're creating a gaming platform that could disrupt the entire gaming industry, even if it's not our platform directly. The model that we are working on of decentralizing revenue streams could disrupt a multi-billion dollar industry and redistribute wealth globally to many underserved communities worldwide. Like, when you put it in that context, at least for me, that made me go, man, I got to step it up. I got to step it up. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been loyal. You've been following us. I can't thank you enough as a community. But when I really started to think about this incredible mission that we're on, the number of people that lives are going to be changed, like it's incredible. So all of that said, I know, trust me, I am super squirrel. Oh, here, this, that. Um, but I have a renewed sense of focus leading UPX World into 2023. We are going to consolidate efforts and concentrate back on that core gameplay. We're going to connect back to our roots and get more involved than ever with Upland. That is kind of our foundation. And I know that, and this is on me, of like, we just started to go everywhere because we're like, ooh, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And it's been great, right? Everything we've done, everything that we've tried out has all been incredible learning lessons for myself, for the team that's involved. And we've tried all kinds of different things. I was thinking about, we were doing we tried that role playing element. We were doing some writing. We had all the different things, and it's been great. And what I've found is, like, we have this amazing core of really dedicated people. So I want to make sure that going into 2023, like, that's who we focus on. Like, I need to get refocused on the core mission of what we're doing. We need to get a product out ASAP. And that is my number one priority, is getting specifically the Red Rocky demo that you saw, where you can walk around. And I want to refocus on the upland meta phases. We do have other projects that are happening in parallel, right? So that isn't to say our boy Dr. Nobi over at 1111, he's still crushing it. We still got a ton of cool stuff coming out there. That's not slowing down. Our boys over at Hyde Park Ninja, they ain't slowing down. They got their latest models for their town. They got their, they are developing their game. They are doing their martial arts training. That ain't slowing down, right? So all of these other efforts are still happening. But what I'm saying is, from a core perspective, myself and what I'll be directing the core team to is standing up something on Steam specifically that we can get out in the hands of players. I also am going to work very aggressively to get connected directly in Upland. We need a dev shop. We need a place for people to see world. And then obviously, so I'm very grateful of my data mines team. So Grom Brindle, Lil Bob, and our Romanian contingency. Shout out to Damon. Demon, I think it's Demon Des. Um, he and that team have been crushing it. So I, I think I have all those things set up in place now that I can refocus on core gameplay, on creating that user experience, and really fleshing out all the details of the decentralized revenue stream, because that is the big disruptor. And I realize that it's going to take some effort to get the industry used to it. But I think once they see it and understand that we're taking the traditional gaming model of millions and millions of dollars of in-app purchases going to a very small set of people, or towards one company that kind of owns the platform, and instead putting the ownership of that into the actual players and NFT holders, which to me is the revolution of Web3, right? And I think it was one of the ninjas who sent me a really interesting presentation that I think their partner was at some tech conference, and they were talking about Web3, and it did a really good job of describing like Web3 is a new buzzword, right? If we can all just go, okay, yeah, cool, Web3, it's like, ooh, cloud compute, right? It's a name that helps bundle all of the NFT, metaverse, blockchain, cryptocurrency. All of those kind of live in the Web3 space. Um, and again, it's a buzzword to kind of keep it clean. Also, because let's be honest, Facebook kind of tanked metaverse. And I'm sorry, if you think that Mark Zuckerberg didn't buy Meta and then put out the worst metaverse to just tank Web3, you're not paying attention. Like, and I don't mean that. That sounded really harsh. It might not be that because I don't think most people realize that. Like, Facebook is a quintessential Web two behemoth, right? They are the disruption that's going to come with Web3 takes market share from them. So yeah, they come out with a metaverse, maybe it hits, and then cool, they're in, or better yet, they tank the whole market. I like Meta's Horizon New World metaverse. I don't think Mark tanked it. That's fair. Um, I mean, you can like it. I don't have anything against it, but from the way I see it, I know Facebook's technology capabilities. They are not working with OMA 3. They have their own, I believe there's actually a different. So OMA 3 is what Upland is a part of. And that's Upland, Decentraland, Sandbox, like all of the actual like metaverses. The um the one that I thought the one that Facebook was in was a separate one with like them and Facebook and Google. Yeah, I maybe they're looking into it, but they definitely weren't a charter member. I know for a fact Facebook was not a charter member because again, Facebook took Meta and then metaverse became toxic. The term metaverse became toxic because no one wants a repeat of Facebook. And if Web3 is for sure a threat to all, yes. Uh, oh, really? Are they all converting over to OMA 3? Well, that's huge for OMA 3 for sure. Um, I hadn't heard that. So they had, because I remember, and I have to go back and look because there was an article about Facebook and them very doing a similar thing. It would make sense um, for them to work with probably more established. I think if they are involved, it's because they're going to keep an eye on it. And I will be keeping an ear out for acquisitions. So as soon as we start to see those getting gobbled up and acquisitions like Microsoft buying Minecraft, like if you don't think that they're looking at ways of leveraging that and they don't see all of these pixelated metaverses and going, we have the biggest pixel platform in the world called Minecraft. And so many people have tried to make a metaverse out of it, but you can't monetize Minecraft materials and things. So there's a lot of blockers there. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about, and like, okay, so let's talk about progression. Web one is is you reading information. So that's like the first version of the internet. You get your news. You get, you can finally research things like Wikipedia. You're consuming information. It's the read era of the internet. You go online to read information. Maybe you can chat. There are some social elements, but for the most part, you are going to consume information and maybe direct chat. Web two is like read write, right? So not only are you reading, but now you're writing. And what that means is social media, right? You are now posting, you are now creating content, right? Um, However, it's still on somebody's platform, right? Now you can monetize, and influencers and brands have been quick to kind of get behind that concept of monetization and influencers. Like that's all your web 2 stuff, your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Instagrams, reading information, sharing information, read write. Web 3, ownership. It's all about ownership. It's all, I would say it's about decentralization. I think will to me that is an important technology aspect to it. And I know proponents of it at large, the decentralization is a huge like value prop. I think for me, it's about ownership. And I guess, yeah, decentralization of assets and revenue streams. So not as much of like, and I guess currency, depending on if you're, I don't really do cryptocurrency. That's just me. I just not for me. But if that's your thing, that's fine. Decentralizing these revenue streams. So if you think about again, look at your Roblox, look at your Minecrafts, look at all of those games, Fortnite, all of them are feeding into these giant corporations, right? That's how the world works right now. And I mean, we see it time and time again. You know, what's interesting is I never, maybe this is a little overshare. I remember when the Wall Street riots happened, the 99%, and everybody was, that anti 1%. And I get it. I think that especially I'm a numbers person. So when you understand the amount of money that the ultra rich actually have and the amount of control that they have, it's obscene. But for me, there is much, there's much smaller economic opportunities of just helping, underserved communities with, and here's, what, go talk to any wealth management guru, millionaire, billionaire. You know what the number one thing that they say is, time and time again? Revenue streams. How many revenue streams do you have? Are you making money while you're sleeping? Like, that is the key to true wealth. And when I started to realize, like, and I mean, I know that, and I put it into practice. Let me see. That's over there. I put that into practice myself, but and I was thinking, like, and we see that with, like, say, our charities, right? So if we raised, $5,000 for a charity, that's great. They can achieve some goals. They can move the mark a little bit further, and that's awesome. If we were to raise, say, $5,000, I'm going to use Pure Rolex. I know you're here. I know you're part of my beloved Romanian contingency. And so, like, Pure, if I gave you $5,000 right now, that would probably, positively impact your life. You would be able to put it to use. You would do something great. I know. Now, if instead of that, I was to say, I'm going to give you $500 forever, every month, forever, right? Let's just say what that does to somebody psychologically. And I can speak firsthand to this, right? I can speak to, there have been times in my life where I was extremely fortunate, either with the company I worked for or through stocks, things like that, where I went from having very little money, like having my electricity turned off, like deciding what bills I was going to pay each month, like really, really struggling financially. And I got very lucky to pull myself out, and I was able to get a degree and go into the tech field. And I got very lucky, and I got a whirlwind of money, and it was new to me. I had no idea, and I didn't understand wealth management. I didn't understand how to do it, so I just was like, cool, I'm going to have fun. And I did. And then you know, if you don't understand wealth management at all, boom, it's gone. Like, it's gone so quick. Like, you just go, wait, what happened there? The market takes a turn, taxes come, and you're like, wait, how much do I have to, what is this? I don't understand. It can go from good to bad very quickly. And I realized that in my own life experiences, I go, this is what we're facing as a society, is that if, and I mean, we can look at the NFT space. We have these artists, right? And they come out with an NFT drop. We have these projects that come out with an NFT drop. And then all of a sudden they get an injection of cash. First of all, I'm not saying that most of them are scams. There are definitely scams out there. But I can honestly say probably a lot of them don't know what to do with that. Like, they don't understand how to manage it. They don't understand how to put it to work. And it's gone, and they aren't able to achieve the outcomes that they set forth first. And then even like the individual artists, they get that one-time payday. Maybe it helps them get their rent. Maybe they go buy a brand new big screen TV. Like, it's very difficult. Now, if we change that, go back to that example with Pure Rolex. If I said, I'm going to give you $500 every month for the rest of your life, that's not enough to quit your job. You're still going to have to work. That's not enough to retire. No. However, that amount of financial security on a consistent basis would allow the underserved communities to have more flexibility, to have more free time. You're not having to maybe pick up a second job. Maybe you're able to afford a little bit nicer luxuries every month that just improve your quality of life. And as your quality of life increases, so does your productivity, so does your community around you. And this is why, like, I think it's so critical that, the mission of decentralizing the revenue streams, it's going to be a hard sell, honestly. Luckily, I've been lucky enough to have investors that get the vision. But can you imagine? I mean, essentially, my pitch is like, hey, all of these really successful video game companies that earn just boatloads of money from in app purchases? What if we did that, but then gave most of it away? Huh? Like, people are like, "Wait, what?" Like, I don't understand. Um, yeah, and so it's not something that's intuitive, right? The whole point of a corporation is to make lots of money. I think fundamentally in the Web3 space, it has to be different. I think that's where like things like the DAOs and other community type organizations kind of came in. They wanted to decentralize it with the idea being that if it's decentralized, then all of the mechanics would inherently be fair to the masses. Um, and so, oh my gosh. You know what's so funny, Doyle? I have been watching a tremendous amount of Mr. Beast lately, and some of his like behind the scenes stuff and talking about how like he is one of my absolute idols. If you don't know who Mr. Beast is, which I don't understand how you couldn't at this point, he is a YouTube legend, a creator, legend creator that just does so much cool stuff, gives away so much. Like some of his stuff is absolutely bananas. Really helping in a lot of underserved communities as well. He does amazing work. Huge fan of Mr. Beast. Um, but yeah, I mean, I could see this being very similar to that in the sense of I want our community to be able to. Oh, dude, Doc Jones. Okay, quick side note. I know tangent. Okay, Mr. Beast gives away, I think his budget for YouTube videos a month, I want to say is $4 million, something like that. He gives away houses, cars, cash, just tons of cash. Goes like buys out entire stores and just gives everything to charity. Like, and it's usually really fun. There's usually games and stuff involved. It is unbelievable the amount of cool stuff he does. So if you haven't checked out Mr. Beast, I don't know why I'm plugging Mr. Beast. He's got like millions and millions of followers, but honestly, if you haven't heard of him, go check him out because it'll give you some idea of, like Doyle said, um, it's the Mr. Beast effect. The more he got, the more he gave away, the more that came back. And honestly, like I think that that's just karma too. But anyway, so what I was saying is the decentralization of these organizations, I think with things like DAOs or these community projects, the idea is that if no one controls it, then it can't be greedy, right? That's really the core concept. Is that there's a great quote of absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? And so, in a sense, when you have a major corporation that is centrally controlled and is monetizing for the purpose of generating revenue for its shareholders, it has a very specific agenda. And if you're a shareholder or a member of the leadership of that particular organization, it's very advantageous for you to continue that model. Um, and so I think it is going to be a challenge. We are a centralized company. UpX World is centralized. I don't ever plan on it being decentralized. Upland wants to be completely decentralized. Upland wants all of its operations to be owned by community. It wants to have as much as possible decentralized. And I love that for them. But for UpX World, I think it's important that we have a centralized platform that has, I guess the experiences are kind of decentralized. So when you think about like 1111, the Hyde Park Ninjas, all of our experiences, and honestly, even like the data mines, like Grom Brindle and Lil Bob and team are essentially completely independent. Like he's going to have his own optimizer. He's going to have pretty much run his own biz ops and like have he's doing some really cool stuff for like node management and all kinds of stuff. And so we will have the platform, and then we will the revenue streams will be centralized. That one's pretty straightforward because that's essentially like he's just has that whole division, right? But then we look at say 1111, and again, from an art gallery perspective, you would say, oh, well, it would mostly go, well, no, Dr. Nobi is giving 89% back to the artist, and on a continual basis of those in-app purchases, 89% to the NFT holders, right? So now we're really looking at revenue streams that could be huge that'll hopefully one day be on par with any AAA gaming studio. However, the actual revenue going to UpX World is going to be significantly reduced compared to its peers because of the mission of wanting to disrupt this gaming industry. And when I started thinking about that, I was like, that's really intense. If we are successful at what we are trying to do, we will disrupt a multi-billion-dollar gaming industry that has been set in its ways for decades. Like, we are going to literally turn it on its head and go, yeah, corporate greed isn't acceptable to us anymore. Not giving artists and creators ongoing revenue opportunities that they are rightfully owed is no longer acceptable to us. And as a community, we have to come together and stay strong to make that happen. And that's as much of a rally cry to myself, honestly, as I've been thinking about it this holiday season of, you know what, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than anybody on my team. It's bigger than even our community that we have now, because there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that are out there in the world right now that have no idea about Web3, about what could be possible, about what is happening behind closed doors. And I can put dollars to donuts that if the existing gaming companies have any say about it, if the existing Web2 giants have any say about it, they're going to keep it that way, right? They sure as heck don't want this revolution. Are you kidding me? And so if you think that Facebook is playing nice with this and Microsoft are playing nice, no, 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 no. They're keeping an eye. They've already sunk. I mean, NFTs kind of shot themselves in the foot. And you can't really talk NFTs in gaming anymore without being crucified. You can't talk really metaverse very much now in the gaming industry without people just going, ugh. And you can say what you want. I blame a lot of that bad PR on Zuckerberg, on Facebook. Like, because who cares? Like, they were like, it was a win-win. Either A, Metaverse Horizons, it takes off and people love it and cool. All right, great. Or it tanks the whole metaverse thing and Facebook's back to having really no competition. It's smart the Upland is just calling it true ownership of digital assets instead of calling it NFTs. Yeah, I can imagine NFTs are going to slowly wean their way out of our vocabulary. Um, Unfortunately, I mean, maybe they'll come back. It's just people have such a like bad taste in their mouth about it. Hey, Keith, over on the YouTubes, welcome. Oh, thank you. Yes, I did get my haircut. Thank you for noticing. Um, so yeah, I think it's going to be very critical that we keep an eye on those Web 2 giants because they're not looking out for the community. If anybody thinks that Facebook is looking out for its community, you haven't been paying attention. Like they care about retention of users, they care about how long they can keep you scrolling, they care about ads that they can sell you, they care about monetizing your information. They do not care about decentralizing anything because that would inherently mean that they're giving up control. That's just not going to happen. They don't want it. So if they are getting involved in OMA 3, which is good, I am skeptical because now you're going to make me look up. I swear there was like Facebook, Meta, Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, Microsoft. What would that be called? Like Web Web 3. Let's see. I feel like they had. Oh, here. Hold on. Join here. Microsoft and Meta joined forces in Web3 focused partnership. This was from October 2022, so not long ago. Microsoft announced on Tuesday it's working alongside Meta to provide meta-based experiences, blah, blah, blah. See, I thought that they had another conglomeration, that there was another group of these like Web 2 giants because I remember none of the Decentraland Sandbox Upland were in it. OMA 3, which is their baby, um, I I don't know. I would be very hesitant to let tech like Web 2 giants in on it, but you know, you want to play and here's the problem. It's inherent greed like come on, if somebody offered me, you know, millions of dollars to buy out and shut down UPX World, like I would be a fool not to take it, but that's where we're at. Like we have to stay strong. I have to stay strong for you guys. Like if we're going to do this, like it's going to be going through the most like delicious. It's like, you know what? It's like Willy Wonka. That's what it's like. Now, whatever you think about it, I'll be honest, it's a little creepy to me, especially the Johnny Depp version, the Oompa Loompas, the like the weird candies. Like it was a lot for me. But that concept of like not selling out, not getting distracted by the quick, ooh, I want to try this right now. Like, ooh, I can have a taste of the good life. Like, no, wait, hold out, keep going, don't get greedy, don't lose sight of what you're there for. Like, that's how we do it. That's how we make it through. And like, I mean, yeah, I honestly, I was thinking, you know, when I started this, that yeah, the goal would be to sell out to an Amazon, to a major player. But the more I'm thinking about it, like, I realized like I don't know that I could actually do that if I really wanted to accomplish this change because the likelihood of now Amazon might. Amazon honestly would probably be one of the only ones because they have other plays in technology and they're not directly in that gaming space as much. I know that they came out with their own MMO, but I could see Amazon potentially um like honoring it. But that's where it's going to be really important. That's why the whole blockchain situation, like before we do that, I would want to move as much of the kind of core concepts of the decentralized revenue stream to the blockchain. Day one, it's just going to be in a SQL database as far as like information and mapping the NFTs to the in-app purchases. So if you haven't heard, every in-app purchase in UpX World will be attached to one or more NFTs, and that's how the revenue will be shared. And so that's just really essentially a routing database that says this in-app purchase, here's the NFTs that are attached to it, and then the percent that each NFT get. And now all of that, the goal in the plan is to make all of that as public as possible, because that's the other thing is I want everybody to know how much, and this is where it gets a little dicey because like we will have charities and we will have probably some larger patrons who own a lot of NFTs, so that might get tricky. But that's kind of what Web3 is. It's really about that transparency, because even like say Upland, we know how much UpX everybody makes. Like you can get that information. You can see what their monthly earnings are, um, very accurately. So I guess it's not any different really from that, but hopefully we'll be talking at a much larger scale. Um, and I think that that's where like the anonymity of blockchain was really important when you had all of a sudden all these people who were Bitcoin millionaires and billionaires overnight. But that also caused a lot of like, who are these people? What are they doing with this money? And so I don't know. I'll be interested to know people's thoughts as we get that. Uh, they're coming after you, offering you obscene amounts of money if they would never offer you more than you could make. Stay strong, brother. Yeah, that's and that was like one of the things that I had to like really think about is like, am I doing this for money? I mean, ultimately, I would love to not have to work a day job. Zuckerberg is after you, TML. I know. I was just like looking. I was like, well, bring bring it, Berg. Um, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Zuckerberg and Microsoft and all those greedy corporate people are like, what we should do is we should start giving revenue to people all over the world, because that would help them significantly. You know who might though? Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a very interesting individual. Now, Microsoft as a corporation, probably not, but I could actually see Bill Gates getting behind the idea of decentralize your revenue streams, especially if it meant impacting, underserved communities. He has been a huge proponent of some really impressive, like global help projects. Elon might also like, but that I can't. I like I will watch everything that Elon does. He's obviously an insane genius of like massive magnitudes. But what? Yeah, when this happens, it'll be the end of the world. Yeah, I mean, the reality is, it is like when you think about what Web3, and I'm not talking just UpX World now, because obviously UpX World from a gaming perspective is huge. That's our goal: disrupt that billion-dollar industry. Very similar to, honestly, I'm hesitant to like Uber, Lyft, like what they did from the taxi. However, they are still kind of, from what I understand, like their policies and things of revenue share aren't probably as generous as they could be. like your Web3 version of that would be like, you know what, you could do that. You could make like a Web3 version where essentially the way it would work is that instead of it being the owners like Uber or Lyft, and I think there's probably things that are like this, you would have communities that would own the cars, and then you would have drivers that would drive the cars, and then the revenue is just split decentrally among the car owners and the car drivers, right? That's very similar. And then, the passengers are like your gamers. So if you think about that, in this sense. Your car owners are like your artists, and your car drivers are the people who own the art and maybe are advertising it or who are wearing it in game to get it promoted. And then your passengers are your consumers who are buying it. So you could make these central Web3 versions of most modern industries. It gets a little tricky. Um, there's a thing like that, community owned vehicles for rent. Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think it would take it one step further where it's like a decentralized app where the actual application's also decentralized. Um, so again, not everything necessarily fits that model. But from a gaming perspective, it certainly does. Like I always think about like, all the developers that are making these games or the artists who create. Oh, you know what? If you haven't watched, oh my gosh, why did I just forget? Mythic Quest. Mythic Quest on Apple TV. Holy cow. So good. So good. And you know what? That actually spawned a lot of like this last season that they did, they actually were talking a bit about NFTs, and it was very interesting to see their approach on it. But they have it's about a gaming company that this guy starts, and I can't remember the actor, Always Sunny, from Always Sunny in Philadelphia actor, freaking hilarious. And he's paired up with I don't know any of the actors' names, but this other actress who is amazing. Her character name is Poppy Lee, and it's really cool to see them building a gaming company and kind of exploring. But all of that is to say, if you watch uh, Rob McHel, there you go. I'm going to assume that's him. Um, if you watch, especially like the later seasons, they are so brutal to their art department. Like the main guy, and like I felt kind of bad because I was like, I think I might have done this a couple times myself. He just goes in, he's just like, all right, yeah, no, we're scrap all that. We're gonna do something completely different. I need this, I need this, I need this. And they're like, are we gonna get to see our families? And he's like, just do it. Like, and even on the most recent season, like the art department always seems to get like the rough end of it. And I just go, that's really unfortunate. Like those people that are making the art, those people that are making the game, really should be the ones directly benefiting. Those who are supporting in a community perspective should be the ones who are benefiting. So again, I know it's a bit lofty, um, but I wanted to reflect back, and we're going to talk more. I think we only have a couple more episodes, maybe two, before the end of the year. And so for me, like I found my lighted up shirt, and I was just really reflecting on Vegas and the energy that we had in Vegas and the momentum we had coming out of Vegas in relationship to UpX World. And I want to refocus. We are going to refocus on the core elements, on that decentralization of revenue streams, and getting something in your hands. That is my number one goal right now. Is getting something in the hands of everybody out there to be able to play, to be able to connect to Upland, to really start to see the vision, because that's how I can sit here and talk to you about it all day. Heck, I've been talking to you about it for 4 months now. Um, so and by we, I mean I have to put my foot on the gas very targetedly towards getting something in your hands. Um, and I realize that, and I am re-energized to start 2023 with absolutely fresh energy, fresh momentum. Like, this is it. We are going to plant our flag in the Web3 space. We as a community are going to come together and build the future of the internet. I know that's the other one. Silicon Valley. Man, you know what? I didn't even realize, like, I've been watching these shows. Silicon Valley, also fantastic show. They talk about a decentralized internet. Like that's like their whole premise is a decentralized internet. Which is really cool. And sharing it across. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Keith, let's kill it. Let's go. Yes, Hyde Park Ninja brethren, let's go. 1111 NFT, let's go. That is still going on, by the way. If you haven't visited, I will do a plug for them real quick here. 1111 NFT.gallery. If you haven't been there, go there. If you haven't bought some array pieces from Epic 2, definitely get on that. If you haven't placed your bids, we'll be definitely checking on those bids. I need to get probably a summary of numbers later from Dr. Nobi for where everything is. Definitely want to get there. And if you are an artist, there's all kinds of great benefits and promotions going on. So make sure you submit for Epic 3. That's going to be here before we know it, January 11th. All right. So that's today. It's really, this is the refresh. This week we're going to transition into looking forward to 2023. I'm going to get a roadmap. I'm going to work with our devs to kind of see what time frame. Like, can we start putting some times in? I need to start, figuring out some ways to communicate easier with you as a community, to keep you up to date and engaged. And so for those of you that have been loyal followers and loyal listeners to this for the past several months, that have stuck in there with us, you're why we do this. Like, I cannot say that enough. I cannot, express my appreciation enough for those that have been here and stuck through it and who see the vision. Massive. I will give a special shout out to, lots of people. There's a lot. And so I feel bad because I don't want to miss anybody. But first, my two unbelievably fantastic moderators. I know we don't have a very active Discord, but you're always there. Shout out to Simone and Shacklin. You two are fantastic. You bring great energy and positivity to our community, and it is very much appreciated. I am so glad that you're part of our team. Of course, I have to call out the amazing developers that have been working nonstop the past couple months on pretty much any whim that I have. And I feel bad because I am super squirrely. You guys are the bedrock of everything we are building, and we couldn't do it without you. Grom Brindle and Lil Bob, you guys have really stepped up on the data mining and are doing amazing stuff, and I cannot wait till we can release that to the community. Our our Romanian contingency, pure Rolex, Ditsy Dids, Dimon. And I actually brought in some more people too recently. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to come to Romania one day. When we get big, I'm coming to Romania and we're going to hang out. And I'm going to stream live. That's my goal. I don't know if 2023 it'll happen, but in the next 2 years, my goal is I want to do a live stream with my boys from Romania in Romania. That's on my list because you guys have been here every day. Every day, I get a DM from somebody in your community. Like, it's so amazing. You guys have been so supportive. You sent me some videos, some movies that I watched that I don't know. I don't know if I could recommend them on air, but they were hilarious. Um, and our experiences, Dr. Nobi from 1111. We have Keith and Mike from the Hyde Park Ninjas, who also have seen the vision and are supporting it. All of the artists who have submitted either digital artwork or lore or have done models, there are tons of you out there, and it is incredible. I can't wait to be able to put more of that into practice and to again get you more integrated in with all of the great things we are doing. So it has been an unbelievable past couple months as I've reflected. Maybe I'll put together some more slides too for the end of the week. I'll put some slides together of like just some of the highlights and recaps because when I think about it, like, I'll be honest, are we exactly where I thought we would be right now? No, absolutely not. I definitely thought we would have something out, in the Steam store. I really wanted that for 2022. And honestly, that's on me because I pivoted too many times. And our dev team has been fantastic with those pivots. That's on me. I should have stayed a little bit more focused on that. Lesson learned. Also, seasonal slowness, just recognizing that, the reality is when winter hits, days are shorter. People don't want to work as much and shouldn't. The holidays come up, and whether you're excited because you get to be with family or you're stressed because you have to be with family or you're whatever because it's a hard time. So there are definitely some lessons learned for myself as far as how do we manage a team, how do I manage a team more um, successfully, how do we balance work a little bit better, and things like that. So lots of lessons learned, and I hope that we can take all of that and bundle it up into just Genesis Week 2023, which will be July. So we have what, 6 months, right? I want a huge presence. I want us to go there. I want there to be a huge UpX World presence at the Genesis event. I want it to be just a massive like moment in the community for us to go, this is what we could do in a year with just the community and a very small amount of funding overall, like, and look at what we were able to bring to market. That's the goal. Yes. Yes. Real life is full with obstacles and delays. Just keep going, dude. Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. I will be there whatever it takes. Yes, we will definitely try to get as many of people out there. Who knows? If we're doing good, what do you guys think? Should we give away? This is obviously cart before the horse, whatever. I want to get kind of excited. Maybe we'll give away some trips to meet us in Vegas or wherever. I assume it's going to be in Vegas. But maybe that's it. Maybe we'll have some contests as the year goes on to give away some trips to come to the Upland Genesis event as part of the UpX World community. That could be super fun. Um, all right, so that. Also, on that note of funding, I am. I know I've said this. I There's a handful of you that I owe contracts for the stock purchases. For those of you who don't know, each month we do offer a limited amount of stock of UpX World. This is not like again, like it's not an NFT. This is actual stock in the private corporation of UpX World Inc. And as an added holiday bonus, and don't worry if you've already bought stock or you had already committed to buying stock, you're going to get this bonus as well. I'm going to throw in lifetime VIX. If you bought stock, you will get lifetime VIX. I don't know why I didn't deploy that initially, but I think as essentially an owner, a part owner of the actual company, it would only make sense that you get lifetime VIX membership as it should be. So if you are interested in that, UpX World overall, I'm fully transparent. Although technically my accountants are like, you don't have to be as transparent as you are. You're a privately held company. And I go, yeah, but that's just the kind of community we are. So there are only 10,000 total shares of UpX World today. So that's the entire pool. And we sell one share for $1,000. I know it's a high point, and we actually only sell like a very small amount each month. Actually, the idea is not, and I'm sorry, I know that there's a lot of you that wish it was a lower price point that you could get in. It is from a because I'm the bookkeeper on that, right? So I have to keep track of all it. So if it was like a $10 buy-in or something, I would have a lot of paperwork to do. So it is $1,000. You get one share. That is how it works. If you are interested in that, you can DM me. I do have a couple left for December, and any that are bought this year, and probably I guess I'll probably be doing it next year too, but I don't know how long we'll be selling them to the community, because once we do like Series A and stuff, it won't be as easy to offer privately. um but oh yeah, no problem. um WMPLC, I try to be as transparent because I don't really see any reason not to be. Like, I don't know. I'm sure that there's somebody who's like, well, your competitors, or, it's just what I don't know. I don't care. You guys are my family. I'm gonna let you know what's going on. If you want in, this is what it is. If not, then it's cool too. Like, it's all good. The other thing, and actually, Walk My Paws, and I don't see Shelter Group here or Humble. But the other thing I wanted to call out, especially in this winter, like these winter storms that have been hitting. I know this is a completely different topic, but and actually WMP LLC with Walk My Paws thinking about animals. Holy cow! I don't know what or how homeless communities. I know Humble was talking to me about like he was trying to help organize like hotel rooms and stuff. Like, just be very conscious of that with the cold weather and the crazy winter that's kind of going out there. If you can donate locally, any extra supplies, probably things like blankets. I don't know, maybe space here, anything that your local communities need. I don't know what those processes are, but I was really just thinking, I was like, holy cow, like all the snow, all the super cold. If there's anything you guys can do individually for your communities, or if you know of larger, I know the Kansas City homeless shelter, which I think is what I think that's what Humble works with, or it might be Shelter Group. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my PSA for today on that, because wow, I am so grateful to have a roof over my head, to have a heater that works, to have running water and warm, dry clothes. Like, And there are people that are in your neighborhood right now that don't have that. There might be people watching this stream that don't have that. Like, so just keep that in mind. So if there's anything you can give, if there's anything that your local communities need, just a little bit extra, especially in the cold season, like would go a long way. That's all. That's my PSA. All right, so that's gonna do it for me today. I will see everybody back here on Wednesday. I'm trying to find the date, would be the 28th. Wednesday, the 28th, same Xlander time, same Xlander place, 5 p.m. Central Time, right here at UPX World Live. Until next time, everybody, stay kind and stay safe.